in the limits of San Jerónimo and Tizapan San Angel in Mexico City.
There is a sensational park for the whole family, which has fabulous green areas, a fascinating Japanese pagoda, sports fields, soccer, volleyball, tennis, and basketball, an outdoor gym, jogging lane, and of course the cherry on the cake, the last monumental work of Diego Rivera. In its over 41,000 square meters, it houses a considerable variety of trees. And among the many types that can be found are the ginkgo biloba, the Italian cypress, the jacaranda tree, the Indian laurel, the Chinese elm, the laurel weeper, the Jupiter tree, the avocado, and the Brazilian guava. It is also home to turtles, birds, and a capuchin monkey. It has more than 1,300 trees of different species. You can bring the whole family and friends for a great birthday party or something of that sort. You can use the tables, benches, and grills that are found throughout the park. In addition, external services such as piñatas, animations, banquets, and inflatables. El Batan has its own cafeteria and a multi-purpose room. General admission is 20 pesos or $1, and parking is 25 pesos per hour, or just a little over $1. On weekends, the maximum rate is 50 pesos or about $2.50. It might not seem like it, but this place has a rather peculiar history. Let's go back in time, when the Batan Park used to be the Hacienda Batan, whose owners were the Matsumoto family. Tatsugoro Matsumoto, one of the first immigrants from Japan, arrived in Mexico and settled here in 1896. During the Porfiriato, he designed the gardens surrounding Chapultepec Castle and soon became Mexico's most celebrated landscape gardener. In time, the creator of the Hajiwara Japanese Gardens in San Francisco, California, bought the Hacienda Batan, located just at the edge of the Pedregal area, one of the most exclusive areas in the city. In the 1930s, under the administration of President Pascual Ortiz Rubio, Matsumoto was hired to plant cherry trees trying to reproduce the scene in Washington, D.C. in 1912. But Matsumoto realized that the weather in the Valley of Mexico City was not the most suitable for the Japanese-style cherry trees, and instead he planted the famous Brazilian jacarandas that are an inherent part of the landscape of Mexico City to this day. During World War II, pressure from the US resulted in concentration camps for Japanese Mexicans who had begun arriving in Mexico in 1897, just a year after Matsumoto himself. Fortunately, the prestigious gardener was able to accommodate all the Japanese expatriates from Mexico City, about 569 of them. The Batan Hacienda continued to shelter the Japanese Mexicans concentrated there until the end of the war in 1945. Subsequently, it became the property of the brother of the President of Mexico, Manuel Ávila Camacho, Maximino Ávila Camacho, for a brief period of time, and adopted the name of Quinta Ofelia. Dolores Olmedo, a businesswoman, renowned patron, and art collector, acquired the property in 1953. Years later, she commissioned Diego Rivera for the work El Espejo de la Estrella, a fountain made with thousands of pieces of marble, onyx, and mother-of-pearl shell that make up 165 figures, from representation of pre-Hispanic gods to images of frogs, snails, turtles, and dogs, among others. When filled with water, it becomes a reflecting pool. The Mirror of the Star was completed in just a few months in 1956. After Diego Rivera's death in November 1957, there are no records of Olmedo's situation with the property. But what we do know is that there was a tax debt on it, and the National Bank of Public Works and Services of Mexico acquired it to create the Parque del Federalismo. In 1988, its name was changed to that of the old BATAN hacienda, by which is known to this day. Now, this park at first glance may seem pretty basic, in which case, what would be the purpose of making a video about it? The beauty of simplicity lies in its ability to convey meaning or achieve a result in a clear, elegant, and efficient way. When things are simplified, they become easier to understand and use, which can lead to greater appreciation and enjoyment. The problem here is that it seems that some have lost the ability to appreciate simplicity. It seems that there is more value in visiting more exotic places around the world than an ordinary park. But if we think about it, for many it is a very accessible place, unlike a trip to Paris or a walk along the Chinese Great Wall. Besides that, in this simple space, entire families, and more importantly, hundreds of children have had memorable and spectacular moments. Simplicity can be seen in various aspects of life, such as art, design, literature, and technology. In art and design, a minimalist approach can create a sense of harmony and balance, drawing attention to the essential elements of a piece. In literature, simple language can convey complex ideas more effectively, allowing readers to better understand and connect with the story. In technology, a simple and intuitive user interface can make a product more accessible and easier to use. Simplicity can also bring a sense of calm and tranquility, providing a respite from the complexity and chaos of a modern life. Unnecessary distractions are removed and we focus on the essentials, at least in some cases. Let me clarify. There is nothing wrong with traveling to Bali, which is literally on the other side of the planet. But if there is a much more affordable option in my backyard, why not? There will be time for Bali.